In this video, I'm going to show you a technique inside of Vuescan which may help if you're suffering from areas which are showing blocked up blacks. Blocked up blacks are areas of the image which have been scanned with no detail, but the negative may have detail in them. Trying to extract detail in post-production from an area which has been scanned with no detail is virtually impossible. So we need to get the area which is showing the areas of blocked blacks correct in the initial scan. So I'm going to start by previewing a 6x6 negative. Now this was shot on a pinhole camera, so the negative is not going to be as sharp as one would expect. Now when the image has been previewed, we will see that the negative has what I call a marching ants boundary line, and this is known as the actual crop box itself. So we'll just wait for the preview to be complete, and then we can talk about how we can eliminate these black areas. Now the preview is complete, let's just zoom in so we can see a more detailed view of the image. Bottom left hand corner and bottom right hand corner quite clearly shows areas which appear to be pure black and contain no detail. If I was to scan this image, then this is exactly what we would get in the final scan. And to prove that, this is a scan that I did earlier on, and we can see that the areas are quite clearly blocked with solid black. And no matter how much post-production that we do, we're not going to be able to extract any details from that area. So the technique which I'm about to show you involves including some extra black so the software can readjust its internal exposure. Now there is a side effect to this, and the side effect is that we're going to end up with a scan which is much lower in contrast. Ignoring the areas of the bottom left hand corner and right hand corner, the overall contrast of this initial preview looks fairly okay. However, I would much prefer to add the contrast in post-production than try to extract detail from areas which obviously contain no detail, as we can see in both this preview and the scan which I did. So in order to add some extra black to the image, all that we have to do is take the crop box and increase its size so we start to include some extra black. We've included black down the right hand side, and it actually took us to include some black along the bottom, and we can automatically now see that these areas which was pure black on the scan have now been corrected, and we've got correct detail in the bottom left and bottom right hand corner. As I previously mentioned, we've got an overall lower contrast image, but that is something that we can deal with in post-production quite easily. For those that are wondering what these marks are along the edge of the negative, this is the effect that we get when using a 0-2000 pinhole camera. It's just the way that the film goes across two pieces of felt, and I presume that's just to stop the film from actually being scratched as you're going from frame to frame. So that's what these areas on the right hand side are. You actually see them on the left hand side as well. So now that we've adjusted the area to include some extra black, we're going to scan this and see what we get. So hopefully when the scan is complete, we're going to get an image where we've no longer got the blocked up blacks which are shown in the previous scan. So the scan is now complete, and let's take a look at the final result. So this is the one that we did previously, and I'll just open that one up for us, and as we can see, that's the one where we got the areas with no detail. and this is the one that we've just scanned. We've got good detail in the bottom left and bottom right hand corners, and this is the area from the felt which is in this 0-2000 camera. So all that we need to do now is bring this image into Photoshop or whatever program used for post-production, crop the image, and then start to increase the contrast to your own liking. But certainly from a post-production point of view, we've now got good detail in these areas compared to no detail in these areas. And no matter what we try to do, trying to extract detail from areas which are pure black is just going to result in extracting scanner noise, and you're never going to get a good transition of tones in that area. So this is a quick technique on how to correct a scan in Vuescan if you're suffering from areas which are scanning with black with no detail.